Harley-Davidson have got a damn cheek selling me that bike. Let's get into it.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So this video is all about the, let's say, the buying experience from Harley-Davidson dealerships. But again, I always reference other motorcycle brands that this can happen to as well, especially when you're paying a lot of money. However, for this video, I am talking about Harley-Davidsons because I ride a Harley, so that's what I like to talk about. Anyway, so this is the kind of experience that you can go into a dealership, let's say, and you're looking at a bike, you're looking at all the models that they've got, and then you look at the price tag, and then you think, what? How much do they want to charge for that thing? Now, you might think, well, Alf, these are new bikes and everything. This is what you should be expected to pay, or this is what it is for a premium product. And I get that, and people always, throw that in my face. It's a premium product. It's the Ferrari of the motorcycle world. Well, for me, it isn't, and it doesn't deserve that price. But again, that's my opinion, and you are entitled to yours, of course. Now, hopefully, some of you will agree, but even if you don't, that's fair enough as well. I just don't believe that Harley-Davidson should be charging £30,000-40,000, dollars, shekels, whatever it is, for a motorcycle. And I don't think that BMW, Ducati, whoever should be charging those kind of crazy prices as well, plus 25,000, let's say. But that's a side issue. I'm not really talking, funny enough, about the new motorcycles. I'm talking about those almost new, those used motorcycles, those ex-demonstrator motorcycles that they want to charge a hell of a lot of money. And you kind of look in the used bike market for Harley-Davidsons, let's say, and yes, they do tend to hold their value a little bit more. Perhaps because people really can't afford to buy the brand new Harley-Davidson, so that's what's keeping the used bike market, the price is a little bit higher anyway, because people can't afford the new ones, so they'll go and buy a used one. People buy used bikes for lots of different reasons, of course. Some people prefer the older models, they prefer older technology. Sometimes there's an update in a brand new motorcycle that many people don't like, so they prefer the newer ones. And this was kind of what was happening up until 2020, 2021. When they changed the ECM on the new motorcycles and the new Harley-Davidsons, so there was a transition period where there wasn't really the ability to tune the bikes to the same way or to the same level that they were able to do on the previous bikes. So that's why 2020 bikes, 2019 bikes were really holding their value in the used bike market. So much so that they were almost costing exactly the same. Now, obviously then the COVID hit, the pandemic, and everything was tougher for a long time, and still is for a lot of people, of course. But for the dealerships, yes, they were struggling as well. Many had to close down around the world. That is for sure. If you look at the stock levels that they had, they were fighting around for models to sell, for bikes to sell, because they just couldn't get them from the manufacturer, of course. But they were also taking in bikes from other brands. So let's say Harley-Davidson, for me, just down the road, they were selling anything that they could get, and there's no problem in that. But, the Harley-Davidson dealership, yes, they were selling Triumphs, they were selling Kawasaki's, they were selling Yamahas, they were selling any used bike that they could get. So here is where I had a real issue. Not only were they selling used Harley-Davidsons for really inflated prices, but they're also selling used motorcycles of other motorcycle brands for really high prices as well. A lot higher than in other areas, a lot higher than you can buy them privately, of course, but also a lot higher, it seems, than other dealerships were selling similar motorcycles for as well. So where do they get off trying to sell these bikes at really high prices especially for used bikes. Now, again, it's the same argument for new bikes. Do they really have to be that expensive? Do they really, have to charge you, a lifetime mortgage to get one of these things? Who are they selling to? Are they just selling to the most affluent in society, those who've got spare cash, those who are not really going to do any hardcore riding per se as their daily rider? They're just going to use it at the weekends. I mean, I don't know, and I don't know what the demographic is of people buying brand new motorcycles these days, but it seems as if they are really expensive. And of course, not all Harley Davidsons cost £40,000, of course, or dollars or shekels or whatever it is. Yes, you can get entry level bikes about 12, 13, 14,000 pounds, let's say. Some a little bit less than that now, of course. But still, that's, I wouldn't say that's an entry-level price. That's an entry-level price for Harley-Davidson, of course, but not an entry-level price. So if you're talking about £6,000, £7,000, £8,000 for a Sportster, let's say, used one, a nearly new bike, let's say, maybe a little bit more, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, whatever it is, depends what it is, of course. That's a lot of money for a used bike, for a used Harley Davidson. It's a lot of money for any used bike. So I just wonder, how can they justify selling these bikes for those kind of prices? Well, quite simple. They can justify it because people will pay it. That's it. That's the reason why. I mean, if they're not selling the bikes, then fall on them, because nobody's going to pay those prices. But as long as people keep on paying those prices, or are willing to pay those prices, and they're so desperate to get a Harley Davidson because there's been a shortage in supply, let's say, over the last couple of years, and also with the supply chain issues all over the world in terms of raw materials and parts and everything like that, people are really still in the mood to buy luxury brands or expensive brands because they know they just can't get them new, or there's going to be a long waiting period, so they'll spend extra over the odds to get that pride and joy, let's say, even if it is used. And guess what? Those dealerships are out there to earn money and make a living, let's say, and just keep the profits rolling in. So yes, they know they're overcharging, and they know that you're going to pay for it as well. It's as simple as that. Do I agree with it? No. Does it frustrate the hell out of me? Yes. Do I go into a dealership and I look at a bike and I think, really? You're going to try and charge me or anybody else that kind of money? But somebody else will walk in right after me, and so they'll look at that bike with that price tag and they'll say, yeah, that'll do for me. That's exactly what I want. I don't care. I'm paying it. Hey, look, there's no right or wrong answer here, I suppose. If you like that bike and you're willing to pay for it, well, yeah, good on you. That's all I can say. But they do have a cheek, in my opinion, of trying to sell you a bike over the price, and used bikes are just highly inflated in the used bike market anyway, but certainly at dealerships, not only Harley Davidsons that they're selling, but other brand motorcycles that they might have gotten in on trade deals, let's say, and they're just hiking those prices up. And I just wonder, when is this bubble going to burst? At some point there's got to be some kind of reaction against this. There's got to be some kind of revolt against this high prices, constant high prices, not only on new bikes but also on used bikes as well. And you just wonder, is it going to happen anytime soon, or is it just going to keep on up and up and up, just like footballers' wages? It never seems to slow down. It just keeps on going up, regardless of what the rest of the world is doing, regardless of how people are suffering around the world in terms of economics and rising prices and everything like that. People will still pay top dollar, and they'll want those premium brands. But for how long? Let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share. Check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. Ta-da!